We understand that there is a bit of an issue when it comes to gender diversity across our industry. If you're going to be a doctor, your promotion opportunities are fairly straightforward. You kind of understand the kind of things you need to be aiming for and what you might have to do to get them. Do you think it's harder within the broadcast sort of sphere?
My daytime job is looking after freelancers, sort of all talent behind the camera, so cinematographers, sound recorders, editors, etc., etc. And it's very, very hard, you know, moving from being an assistant editor into being an editor, moving from being a camera operator into a cinematographer, because of exactly what you say, Maggie, that there isn't that sort of employment mechanism whereby there is a sort of duty of care and an HR department going, okay, how can we help you as our employee to develop your career?
We really encourage people to move around the organisation. And I guess our sort of coaching and mentoring advice is always about nail the day job, make yourself redundant. I think it's having the bravery to not fear what the next bit looks like.
Is one of the issues trying to help people understand, both actually within the industry as well as outside it, what the opportunities actually are, because they're changing almost, month by month.
I was working as a space scientist, and I thought, pretty cool job, up there with brain surgeon. I'm a space scientist. But when I tried to recruit people, I just couldn't recruit people at all. I see many kids, and I talk to them, and they say, oh, as a scientist, we didn't know you did that. We didn't know that science involved that. Or you work in engineering. Engineers do that. And especially the girls, because they're sort of quite blinkered. They don't know any other engineers.
That habit that somehow, particularly in education, we've got into of siloing, your arty, your sciencey. And it's interesting because if you talk to that age group, the younger students, they don't do that. They can see that they could be a space scientist, or they could be a ballet dancer,
they could be a space scientist ballet dancer.
My daughter wants to be a space artist, so she can come out with me.
Yeah,
That's very true in sort of film and television drama, that people think, I want to work in the arts, I want to work in film making, and they see that as a kind of creative role, and then they see science subjects as scientific, and that there's somehow a divide between creativity and scientific things. And I think it's that, I was talking to a colleague of mine yesterday, saying I was coming here tonight, and she runs DNEG Television, a big visual effects company. And she was talking about, and she's passionate about visual effects, and she was describing it very beautifully as creating art, but using maths and physics to do it.
How do I access that 8%? That's what I'd like to know, because of course we do need to start early, but I also need experienced people to help me grow the company.
We've worked really hard to think about how we hire for potential rather than actual. I think people get put off. When you're in very technical roles, the idea is that you've studied for years and you have this deep technological capability. Actually, a lot of the time you can be more generalist around the technology environment and still be bloody good.
We were talking a little bit earlier about how intimidating it can be, when you pitch up for an interview, for two reasons. Because, often there's a lot of focus on interview technique from the point of the view of the person who is going to the interview, and not always so much focus on the people doing the interview.
Yeah, I think our industry is, particularly in its sort of casualised nature, really, really guilty of that. That, in that freelance environment, you are going to be interviewed possibly by a very stressed, busy head of department at Costa Coffee at Paddington Station at 5:30 on a wet Friday evening. And it's a chat, exactly. And what we do with our clients a lot, and we do within Women in Film, is try and kind of help people to learn how to, without being aggressive but being assertive, take control of that interview process and make sure that they are getting across the things that they want to get across. But it would be truly wonderful if there could be a little more training for the people doing the interview.
Screen Scene is a post-production and visual effects company. We have a work Facebook and with the worldwide company NEP, and they shared this clip. When I shared it with the other panellists, they said, well, yeah, our company has made this. they should make it visible. Black sales should be going, we've made this programme. Oh, look, here's how we did it.
It's an industry where you can have such a happy home as a female. It's empirical. We work in a world where people don't judge what you look like, or, you know, there's so many things that happen in other industries that are utterly horrendous. You know, I think about finance or banking, or, you know, so many places where there are famous levels of discrimination. And actually, if we can fill the pool better, it's such a delight to be here. It's creative. You know, the teams that you work with are solving problems. What a lovely thing to do.
And you can do that
Completely
wearing jeans
ecumenical.
and a t-shirt and trainers, you know.
So there's a real joy in that, and that's the bit I'd really like to impart to the young folk, is this is such a great place to thrive.
Well, you've been amazing. Thank you so much for a really engaging discussion. Can you put your hands together for our brilliant panel?